The spider's finally here.
Spiky Bits.
Hey, welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Baer from SpikyBits.com, and we've got the man, the myth, the legend, Fabius Bile in the house. Today, we're gonna unbox and build this beast right here. So it's been a while. It's been a while since we've been able to get our hands on some merch and actually do an unboxing and review. So I'm really stoked for this. So here we go. This guy is clocking in at $40, I believe. And of course, you can always get yours for less at Miniature Market or Dice Head Games. Hit them up on the phone or check them out online. So lots and lots of new releases this week on the War of the Spider front. You got the book, the limited edition version of the book, and this particular model right here. I think there's a Manflayer novel too. So if you're really into Fabius Bile, well, you can pick up that that novel as well. Looking forward, of course, to hopefully 2-3 weeks from now, I guess, when we'll see the 40k starter set, but no official word quite yet on that. So this guy's kind of cool. Obviously he's got some rules. You know, the jury's kind of out on the rules right now, just because we don't know 100% on how everything works in 9th edition quite yet. But the model itself definitely got a much needed update for sure. Here you can kind of see he is on a 40mm base. He's a bit taller, a bit more gaunt as he should be, and he's got his little underling duder right here. It doesn't look like he has an official designation quite yet. You can see his all his backpack, the Churgeon, the Zyklus Needler, the Rod of Torment, and all that stuff going on right here. Opening him up, let's take a look. So there is no little plastic tray because he actually takes up the whole box himself. So he's two of those smaller little half-size, we'll call them clam pack sprues, that have been the complete kit of many a special character going on into 9th edition here. So you're gonna get one sprue, the smaller 20, actually, yeah, I think that's 32mm base for his little companion, and a 40mm base for Fabius right there. Here's the sprue. We're gonna look at that a little bit more here in a second, and let's jump into the rules. So Fabius Bile, how cool is this model? I don't officially know yet until we put it together, but taking a look at this, I was kind of concerned. So this looks like, you know, they're kind of doing that build a clamshell kind of type deal where you've got this inside that's hollow, and then the back of his Manflayer suit goes on the front of his Manflayer suit. The head is part of the kit, so you're not going to be able to turn it. But what I thought was really interesting here is these legs just kind of notch into this little like upside down U kind of configuration here. And I'm not really sure how that's gonna look. This is kind of wacky, to be quite honest. The very first step, it's like, holy cow, let's throw some people for a loop right here. But it looks like the arms go on normally, and then you've got this gap, this jigsaw piece puzzle in his little Manflayer suit here, and that's where his instruments and the rest of his kind of suit go on here. And then these wires lock onto the front. I guess that can kind of controls all his contraptions and things. But if I had to guess, I would say those tubes line up with these tubes on the back, and I'm really concerned about that, to be quite honest. Like, the chances of them lining up 100% right are probably pretty small. So right on this page right here, I feel like there's already a few gotchas, which is kind of alarming because, you know, normally GW is really good about their design, and they hide like the gaps and things like that underneath in areas where you really wouldn't see. But this is just like really weird to me. I almost feel like these independent characters, maybe not so much with some of the ones recently, but I feel like Fabius Bile, this should be like a warning on here. Like, I feel like if you're used to the ETB kits or maybe like the monopost stuff, like, hey, you know, this looks like it's a really fiddly model, and you know, it's something you're gonna really want to take your time with and really dial it in and pay attention to what you're doing, or seems like there's a high potential to kind of mess it up. And here you can see his backpack is actually two parts, and the first part kind of connects to the back of the backpack socket interface right here, and then the front piece, or I guess the actual backpack itself, these little we'll call them support levers, those lock into the skulls in the back. And here you can see on the assembly, and I like how they give you this because it's super helpful, so you can kind of see But I would have loved something like that on the front here, so we could have got a better look at these legs, because they're like, hey, the legs are here, and then this goes over top of it. But I could see we're gonna have some problems lining those legs up. So that being said, just take it slow. We'll find out more here in a second about how fiddly it really is. Shoulder pads look to go on standard. And then these arms right here, it looks like the little, what is this? This is a syringe, and this is a little bone driller thing right here. It looks like these go on separately, and this one has a wire that matches up with it right there. And I think there's actually a wire, if I remember correctly. I saw a wire somewhere in one of these diagrams that locks into, yeah, there's a tube right here that looks, there's a lot going on. Like, this isn't just, man. So it's definitely going to be worth slowing down, taking a look at exactly what you're doing. Now, on his little fella here, his acolyte, so to speak, he looks like he goes together, like this wire kind of goes up into his suit right here at the top. Okay, I can dig that. He's got a clamshell sort of thing, and then he locks into his legs. And then he's basically pulling, you know, the gene seed out of that space marine right there, kind of standing on him, you know, to get that really good force, so get that really good tug out of him, so to speak. So there he is right there. Let's take a look at the Sprue next. Sprue is in the house, so lots of parts on here, and it's not super evident what is what. Of course, you can see his appendages here for the Churgeon, his Rod of Torment, his Zyklus Needler, and then you can see with the parts to that little Deuter is kind of spread out everywhere. Now, looking at this, I mean, it all looks, it's kind of weird how this is on a plane, right? And then everything is going to kind of come together and have all sorts of weird mold lines all over it. So you're going to have a mold line here, and it might even actually be through his hair, just looking at this. And then it might not be down the side here, but you're definitely going to get one down the side. You're going to get some around the Space Marine here, all around the side of this Deuter, up and down the arms on the Needler. Instead of on the side like we see a lot of the Sprue, the mold lines, we're going to have actually this on the transverse axis, like the up and down, the vertical right here, a longitudinal, depending on how you look at it, I suppose. So there's going to be, and then on the actual front or tops of these appendages, so there's going to be a lot of mold lines in a lot of weird places on this kit right here. So that's going to be very interesting. Now, of course, it's very well detailed. You can see all the stitching and everything. Here, let me get in a little closer. Yeah, without, okay. So you can see the stitching and everything on this. So, and then the Space Marine is definitely dead. All the tools are easily made out. Very, very well done. The little acolyte looks good. There's a lot of cool details on the Churgeon, even the little chaos trim, and he's got the little vials of different stuff. The front of Fabius, I mean, the hair, I mean, the artwork was kind of a little wonky, I'll admit, but then, you know, you start looking at this and look at all the lines and everything. His hair is very well done. His face, you know, you might not agree with the particular posing or anything like that, but I feel like the face is sculpted very well for the image it's portraying, for sure. And then, you know, his little Rod of Torment here looks very cool. It's got a lot of detail going down. The front and the back and the sides actually looks 4 different ways, and he's got his trim. So I'm liking the detail on this. It's not too much, it's not over the top, but it's not definitely not enough that it took away a little bit. So let's get these all snipped out and kind of see where we're at after that, because I'm really interested in seeing how these legs go together on that flesh coat. And here he is. So this, like I said or alluded to, I don't know if I actually came out and said it, but this is a very challenging model to put together, I think, for anybody that has a problem with fiddly bits, or anyone that's just, you know, not used to a standard multi-part kind of build. The legs, I mean, just look at these legs. Like, there's and it's hard to see in this, but there's actually a flat piece on this foot, and it's designed, he's designed to just be sauntering along, like using his cane, and he's kind of pushing off with his back foot, and this foot's kind of in the air. So this actually is kind of how it's supposed to go, even though it doesn't seem like it would be like that. And let me tell you what, this gap back here, like I said, with these wires, this did not go together very easily at all. It's like trying to line up 3 simultaneous things, you know, those wires into each other. But fortunately, if you do make a mess, that pad's going to go over top of it. So it's not going to be super noticeable, although I did put a lot of effort into it just to get them lined up. But just keep in mind, if you mess that up, it'll probably be covered up. So GW did their due diligence there with the design itself. It's kind of, you know, you can't do much with this, but I do like the flowing hair and things, so he's definitely pointed that way. Up here, just be really careful. Now, there's these big chunks of sprue on the sides of these skulls, and there was a chunk of on the little guy. I'll show you that here in a second. So be careful of where you're separating these from the sprue, because they're kind of fiddly in some regards where the bigger chunks are, and that you're going to have to remove those. Now, you can kind of see a little bit of a gap right there in the flesh suit and then going around there. But, you know, once you paint it and wash it and glaze it and do all your normal stuff, probably not going to be super noticeable. But if I really wanted to, I could come back with some of the super thin cement on the inside or some of this plastic putty that I've shown you before and really kind of seal that up. Now, I left all the sprue or all the flashing here just because I wanted to show you, and generally we just do this just so you can see where all the crazy sprue lines are going to be on things. And like I said, they're all up and down here, all up and down here, and there's a big just piece I just missed completely. I didn't even see that. Where was this one? Here too. So just be careful of this little wire right here on the little drill bit that has to socket in there, and then on the shoulder pad that actually sockets in right here and in the back of the backpack right there in that gap. Oh, there's another piece of sprue I missed too. But you kind of get an idea. You got to be really cognizant of all the lines and all the flashing. It's really bad on this Zyklos needler right here. It's semi bad on this, but then it's like really weird on this here. So you're not actually going to see all this, but you are going to see it on that leg, and then you're going to see it right there on that foot. So very, very interesting build. This probably took longer to put together than it should have, just because it was so much going on with it. This little guy went together in like basically a minute. It was super quick. Just beware, there's a big chunk of sprue or a flash that's going to be on this little gene seed gland, whatever you want to call it, right there. And he's just like holding this dude down, just like yanking on him. But there you can see the rest of the sprue and the flashing, and then kind of where the gap's going to be around the cape. That was what I was talking about with GW, how they like to kind of hide those gaps. And I think the design team, definitely used a lot of their hallmark kind of design tricks on this, but they really got ambitious, I feel like, with all of the appendages and all just some of that, and maybe his pose walking and how you connect these legs to the outside of the flesh. I mean, it worked, but I'm not sure that a lot of people are gonna kind of get it. Like, I feel like there's two solutions here. Either maybe don't be as ambitious with the design, but if you are ambitious with design, maybe put the front and back pictures with maybe with a little bit more arrows for folks so they can kind of see how it's supposed to lock in. Because the very first step being that difficult, I could kind of see it being a feel badsy for a lot of people. But overall, I mean, the model is very striking. I feel like the posing is good. The proportions are good. I like how he's gaunt. Now, here's how he can kind of compares to an actual Space Marine model. So definitely sizes up a little bit taller. So he's basically Primaris size. Here's a Poxwalker. So he's definitely sizing up pretty good to right there. I actually don't have a Custody here to show you. There's Karn. So the redone Karn. So lots of models getting redone. And he's kind of running and doing that thing right there. So he's a little bit smaller, of course. Here's how he compares up to Mephi. So let's see, put him in the same height. So he's about the same height as Mephi right there. And then here's how he compares up to the man, the myth, the legend, Abaddonian himself right there. Painted by Castlebrush EU. Very incredible model. But I think everything's good about this guy. I just think, it's just going to be a little challenging. So if you are going to get him this weekend and put him together, just really dial in and take your time on this, because while you can make some mistakes and still not see them, getting it to stand up could be a pretty big mistake, right on step one right there. So that's it for this one. Let me know what you think of the model, because I'm actually very curious. All these Primaris reboots, or Primaris size reboots, he isn't technically a Primaris, but we all know what's happening here, am I right? And it's just interesting to kind of see what everybody thinks about the posing and things like that. So that is it for this one. Always make sure to check out Dice Head Games or Miniature Market, where you can always get your hobbies for less, especially when it comes to the Warhams, which definitely isn't getting any cheaper anytime soon, that's for sure, right? Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our new videos.